If you have children or grandchildren and they're not good at sharing, you can always remind them that even these great saints, Peter and Paul, have to share a feast day. They don't get their own. They have to share it. Well, according to our gospel reading this afternoon, what singled Peter out from the other disciples was his God-given insight into the identity of Jesus. It was because of this very unique insight that Jesus gives Peter a singular role among his followers. He is to be the rock, the firm foundation on which Jesus will build his church, our church. Peter's role is further defined by Jesus giving him the keys to the kingdom of heaven. The image of the keys suggests authority. The nature of that authority is expressed in terms of binding and loosing. This refers to the teaching of authority of the church. Peter is being entrusted with the task of authoritatively interpreting the teaching of Jesus to deflect Jesus from other members of the church. Yet the same Peter immediately tries to deflect Jesus from taking the way of the cross. And when Jesus did take that way, Peter would deny him 3 times. Peter has a significant role to someone who remains very flawed. If the gospel reading associates teaching with Peter, our second reading associates preaching with St. Paul. In that reading, Paul refers to the Lord who gave me power, so that through me the whole message might be preached to all the pagans to hear. Paul was the great preacher to the gospel to the Gentiles throughout the Roman Empire. He preached it for the last time in the city of Rome, where, like Peter, he was martyred for his faith in Christ. This second reading may well have been written from his Roman imprisonment. I have fought the good fight to the end. I have run the race to the finish. I have kept the faith. The image of the fight and the race suggests that keeping the faith was a struggle for St. Paul. It did not come easily to him, just as keeping the faith did not come easy to Peter as well. Keeping the faith does not always come easy to any of us. Paul was very aware that keeping the faith was not due primarily to his own efforts. It was always the Lord who enabled him to keep that faith. As he says in our second reading, the Lord stood by me and gave me power. It wasn't himself, it was always the Lord. It is the Lord who empowers all of us to keep the faith. His faithfulness to us enables us to be faithful to him to the end. The faithful witness of Peter and Paul speaks ultimately of our faithfulness to Jesus each and every day. We say blithely to one another, keep the faith. It means a great deal because it's meaningful in the lives of Peter and Paul who kept the faith, not merely a slogan, not merely something we put on a t-shirt. It's our call to action. It's our call to be faithful.